cup of Indonesia. The finest tea in the world. Tea is one of the natural beverage ingredients that are very popular in the community. It is the result of processing flushes, buds and leaves of the tea plant, which are used as a beverage ingredient. After water, tea is currently the most widely consumed beverage in the world. In fact, the number of tea connoisseurs continue to increase over time in some countries. Based on its varieties, tea, or its Latin name Camellia sinensis, is divided into two varieties, namely Camellia sinensis assamica variety and Camellia sinensis variety. In Indonesia, most of the tea plants are Camellia sinensis assamica variety, although there are some plantations that cultivate the sinensis variety. The assamica variety has large and pointed leaves, whereas the leaves of sinensis variety are smaller and not pointed. The catechins content in assamica variety is higher than that in the sinensis variety. The catechins content in tea is beneficial to health. Catechins are also a highly effective antioxidant to neutralize free radicals in our body. Indonesia, through the Tea and Quinine Research Center, has developed Gambung tea. Gambung tea received an award from the International Society of Antioxidant in Nutrition and Health, or ISANH, in 2009 as tea that has high catechins content from each of its flushes. Gambung tea is then used as a basic ingredient for white tea. A glass of Gambung white tea has antioxidant equivalent to 12 glasses of orange juice or 10 glasses of apple juice. Nearly 75% of the tea harvest is processed to become black tea or fermented tea, whereas 25% is processed to produce green tea or non-fermented tea, and the rest is processed to produce oolong tea or semi-fermented tea and white tea. The tea plant is mainly grown in tropical regions and requires up to 1,000 to 1,250 millimeters of rainfall per year, with the ideal temperature between 10 to 20 degrees Celsius. Tea plant is able to produce good tea for 50 to 70 years. Tea can be divided into categories based on its oxidation level. White tea is tea which is made only from the flushes that do not undergo the oxidation process. The flushes are picked before the sun rises to block the formation of chlorophyll. White tea is produced in much smaller quantity compared to the other types of tea. That is why it is more expensive. Whereas in producing green tea, the tea leaves that will be processed to become green tea are usually processed immediately after picking. After the leaves have had a minimal amount of oxidation, the oxidation process is stopped by heating. Black tea is the most common type of tea in the world. The Japanese people call it red tea because the color of the tea water is actually red. Westerners call it black tea because the color of the tea leaves is black.
Hi, my name is Przemek. I'm traveling around the world by bicycle. I like Indonesian tea. I think it's one of my best tea during my trip. For me, it's really natural, and the taste I drank in a guest house, wow, quite interesting for me.
The area of tea plantations in Indonesia increased with an average annual growth of 0.27%. The ownership of tea plantation is divided into three types. In 2010, Indonesia was the 7th largest tea producer in the world, with a production of 129,200 tons. In the same year, Indonesia was the 6th largest tea exporter in the world with a volume of 87,100 tons. From the living environmental point of view, tea plantation is known as the largest producer of oxygen, especially on Java Island, which is densely populated. Besides that, tea plantations also provide good groundwater. There are several areas in Indonesia which becomes the centers of tea production in the country, such as West Java, Central Java, North Sumatra, West Sumatra, and Jambi. For the first example, we are heading to Kayu Aro tea plantation in Jambi. The island of Sumatra has the potential for producing excellent tea from Indonesia. Kayu Aro Jambi is quite well known as the producer of the best export quality tea in Sumatra. Kayu Aro tea plantations covers an area of 3,020 hectares. It is one of the world's largest expanse of tea plantation, and it is the second highest elevation of tea plantation in the world after the Darjeeling tea plantation at the foot of Mount Everest, which is 4,000 meters above sea level. Kayu Aro has been known as the tea producer since the Dutch colonization period. Kayu Aro tea is loved by the nobility of Europe because it has a distinctive aroma. The secret of Kayu Aro tea flavor is the result of the land elevation where the tea plants grow. The higher the land elevation where the tea plants grow, the higher is the quality of the tea. The lowest land elevation in Kayu Aro plantation is located at an altitude of 1,400 meters above sea level, and the highest land elevation in Kayu Aro plantation is located at an altitude of 1,700 meters above sea level. Because of its excellence in taste and aroma, Kayu Aro tea is used by several bottled tea producers in Indonesia and abroad for the main blending or mixing ingredient to obtain the desired taste. By mixing Kayu Aro tea into the bottled tea products, it is believed that the product has more flavor and delectable aroma. The specific aroma and taste is caused by the production process of Kayu Aro tea, which is not mixed with any chemicals such as preservatives, colorings, and artificial flavors. Therefore, it is beneficial for our health because it contains substances such as riboflavin, a substance that helps digestion. Kayu Aro tea is also known as the world's best black tea because it contains quite high polyphenol content. The plants have been taken care of properly. That is why many of them, which were planted in 1928, are still productive today. Each year, this tea plantation produces 5,500 tons of black tea. In one day, Kayu Aro tea plantation produces an average of 80 tons of wet leaves. The advantage of Kayu Aro tea is its taste and aroma. Currently, the processing of Kayu Aro tea employs the CTC or crushing, tearing, curling system, although the orthodox processing system is still used. Tea plants are propagated from seed or by cutting or by means of the clone method. There is a plant nursery bed for plants aged 1 month, 3 months, 6 months to 8 months. At the age of 6 to 8 months, the plants from the nursery bed are transplanted to the field that has been prepared for the tea regeneration. Tea plant cultivation. Tea plants are cultivated in various ways, including pulling out, which is manual weed control by pulling out weeds and their roots. Production trimming. Every 36 to 40 months, production trimming is carried out by cutting all the leaves, scraping moss found on tea stems, and remove weeds that are found in the plantation area. Creating paths and waterways. Creating paths is useful to provide paths for tea pickers, and creating waterways is aimed at watering the tea plants. Picking process. In producing black tea, tea pluckers pick the flushes, which are leaves and buds that have not bloomed, half-bloom flushes, and tea leaves that have grown. Whereas in producing green tea, picking is done on flushes that have not bloomed and half-bloom flushes. For making white tea, tea pluckers pick only the flushes that have not bloomed. Picking is carried out by means of various techniques. The first technique is by pulling it with a snap of the wrist without twisting or clamping. The second technique is by using special scissors. The third technique is by using machines. Because Kayu Aro tea plantation is a vast expanse tea plantation, using cutting machines and special scissors is more effective than the other techniques. Wilting process. At this stage, the leaves are withered by heating so that the water content is reduced by 65 to 70%. The leaf sometimes lose more than 25% of its mass due to wilting. Heating is done by blowing hot air over the leaves. This is done so that the tea leaves can be ground properly. This wilting process takes about 18 hours. Bruising process. Subsequently, the tea leaves that have withered enter the grinding stage. Tea leaves are crushed in several grinding stages until they turn into powder. In this grinding process, the flavorful juice of the tea leaves will come out and it will create the taste of tea in the oxidation process. The oxidation process. Tea leaves that have been ground undergo oxidation process, which will change the color of the leaves from green to a dark brown. In this phase, chlorophyll in the leaves breaks down chemically and tannins are released and transformed. In the tea industry, this process is called fermentation, although there is no fermentation because it is not triggered by microorganisms. Enzymes in the tea will work and create the color, flavor, and aroma of the tea. The drying process. The drying process is carried out in various ways. Tea leaves can be pan-fried, steamed, or roasted. However, roasting is the most common method. The quality of this process must be maintained so that the tea is not too dry or scorched. Sorting process. After undergoing the drying process, tea enters the sorting stage. At this stage, tea will be divided into several grades. To maintain the quality of each production process, tea testing is performed by experienced personnel. For each production output, test is performed on the outer part of tea ranging from powder, color, shape uniformity, cleanliness, tea color, and pulp appearance. Subsequently, a test is performed on the inner part of tea, namely the color of tea infusion aroma, and the taste. Based on the tests which have been carried out, it will be known whether there is inconsistency in the processes of withering, bruising, oxidation, and drying of the tea. Packing process. Tea that has been sorted out is packed with labels in accordance with its grades. The tea is then ready to be shipped to the overseas buyers. From Kayu Aro tea in Jambi, we are heading to West Java province, which is the largest tea producer in Indonesia. West Java produces more than 70% of the national tea production. Tea has become a superior commodity in West Java province. The geographical conditions and the fertile soil of West Java support the development of tea plantation. In 1936, it is recorded that of 293 tea plantations in Indonesia, 247 tea plantations are located in West Java. The picking process depends on the weather. Tea harvesting is labor-intensive. In general, good tea usually comes from the flushes or young tea leaves that have not bloomed. To produce 1 pound or 0.45 kilograms of the best quality tea, more than 80,000 leaves are required. Different from Kayu Aro tea plantations in Jambi, which has flat contour, tea plantations in West Java are located on hills. That is why picking by hand is more effective than using machines. Tea pluckers have to recognize exactly which flushes shall be picked. This is important to ensure the softness of the tea leaves in order to produce the best tea. After picking, tea leaves are taken to factories for further processing. The location of tea plantation is close to the tea factory. Processing tea at PTPNA is carried out by using the CTC or crushing, tearing, curling system and the orthodox system. The CTC system is used to produce black tea and green tea. The process of tea production using the CTC system begins with the stage of wilting. Bruising with 3 stages of grinding to obtain fine grain. Oxidation process. Drying process. Sorting process. Tea testing. And packaging. For producing green tea using the CTC system, all the stages are carried out except the oxidation process. With high quality control, starting from taking care of and maintaining plants, picking tea flushes, processing at the plant to packaging, it makes sense that the tea produced in Indonesia is known as one of the best quality tea in the world. A cup of Indonesia. The finest tea in the world.